Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money. With your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hi everyone, Tom here, and welcome to the maiden voyage of the Screw the Commute podcast. I'm thrilled you're here. In this first episode, I'll give you a little background about myself and what you can expect if you subscribe to the podcast. Plus, today's lesson will be the number one biggest mistake I've seen in over 21 years of teaching internet marketing to small business people. If you're making that mistake, I'm also going to tell you what to do about it. Now, if you like what you hear, please subscribe. For you podcast newbies out there, we have instructions on how to do that at the website, screwthecommute.com. Also, leave us a review, and we'll have instructions on how to do that too. Now, if you're leaving a good review, you'll click on the good link. Now, if you're leaving a bad review, you'll click on a bad link. That will either not work at all or take you to somebody else's podcast. Okay, so why should you listen to me? Well, I've never had a job outside of high school and the beginning of college. I started my own business formally in 1977 while I was still in college. But I've really been entrepreneurial and selling things since I was about 10 years old. Now, by the time I graduated college, starting with nothing, I owned 5 apartment buildings and a hotel. My daily life was going to the post office and picking up rent checks. I dropped them off at the bank, and that was it. All right, the rest of the day was my own to work out, play sports, go to the movies, travel, or pretty much anything I wanted to do. I really loved the idea of flying, so I hung around the airport and got my commercial pilot's license, and I freelanced as a charter pilot for several years. Now, that was cool, but I was really, kind of just a high-class chauffeur. Then I got the bright idea to start a bar nightclub. Oh, boy. Gunfights, knife fights. I broke numerous noses and arms throwing people out of the place. Bikers were trying to kill me. They blew up my car with shotgun blasts. I mean, I was lucky to get out of there alive. Then I moved to Washington, D.C. and started a crazy entertainment company. I decided when I got out of that bar business, whatever I did was going to be fun for me, and nobody was going to want to hit me with beer bottles. All right, so I started a crazy entertainment company called Prank Masters. We custom designed practical jokes. This was long before Punk'd and all those kinds of places were on TV. And that kind of got me into the speaking business around the early 90s. Around 1994, the commercial internet came along. And I'm thinking to myself, you mean I can sell stuff around the world sitting on my butt in my basement from my computer? I said, I'm going to figure this out. So I got, I didn't make a nickel for 2 years trying to figure it out. And then I got good training from what I call the 31-year-old grandfather of internet marketing, a guy named Corey Rudel. Now, he's unfortunately passed away in a tragic car accident. In those days, I paid him $1,230 for a half an hour. Half an hour. I took his training, and then I immediately started making money. 4 years later, I was an internet multimillionaire, which I enjoy and build on to this day. And I sell all kinds of stuff. I mean, family and business protection dogs, tennis stuff. I have a crazy site called fatsotennis.com. Public speaking stuff. I made loads of money selling public speaking stuff, and that's not an easy sell because most people hate public speaking. Made lots of money doing that. Raised money for charity. What I like best about it is that I only deal with people I like. I mean, if I don't like you, you can just take a hike. I mean, if I really don't like you, I may come after you in my consumer advocate role. I'll talk to you about that in a minute, but called Scam Brigade. Another really great thing that you'll want to tune in to this podcast for is because I teach, and I have been doing this for over 20 years, teaching people how to make their hobbies tax deductible legitimately, like the tennis stuff and the dog stuff. Anything you can think of, most people are just paying through the nose to do their hobby.